Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I've got something really different. I don't think I've actually done any videos like this or about this sort of topic yet. So I thought I'd bring something new to my channel, considering I'm starting to run out of ideas. So basically, as you can see from the title, I'm going to show you the difference between cheap and not expensive, but good quality, and obviously priced for that, e-file bits, because obviously you can see these ones on Amazon for packs of 6 for £20 and stuff like that, and it is really appealing to the pocket, but in terms of actually using them, I'm going to demonstrate the difference between the two. So my nails are here. I've already started filing this one off, and then I had this idea for this video. I've had to cut this one down anyway because I don't know if you can see, but I've actually split it right across there and right across that side as well, which is just gross, and it really hurt. It did bleed. So I'm not removing that one, I'm just leaving that one as is until it's healed a little bit underneath. So I'm going to be basically, because I'm going to ignore this one, these two are about the same size nail, and they are like the same thickness, even though there's obviously more glitter in this one. Doesn't make a difference. We're going to glide through that hopefully. So I'm going to be removing these two with my e-file bits. I'm going to use my Willow Academy one, which is this one. It was from the purple range, as you can see from this little bit of purple down here, but I have scrubbed off the colour because it's so old, which is another thing to take into consideration. This bit I have never used. This is the cheaper one, so I'll go through pricing and stuff as well, just so you can see the difference. So the Willow e-file bit, this is called the Bluebell bit. I absolutely love this one. My absolute favourite is the green smoothie, but the Bluebell is definitely a close second. I don't have any cheaper e-file bits like the green smoothie, and I wanted to be like sort of a fair chance, so I thought if I could find two that are pretty similar. The only difference really is these teeth are slightly larger and the actual bit itself is a little bit larger, if you can see. So Willow do gold, silver or purple. Because this was a purple one, they are more expensive, but that is because they last longer. I am due to get a new set of e-file bits, and I will do when I reopen, but obviously there's no point at the moment because it's just money that I don't need to spend while I'm closed. But I will be replacing them because these ones are quite old now, as you can tell, because it's not even purple anymore, which is a good sign that you need a new one. So as your e-file bits get older, they'll create more basically burning on the nail, which is when you know really that you need to replace them. So if you have to go over the same spot multiple times instead of usually you'd only have to do once or twice, then you know that it's not quite doing its job to its full potential, and you could do with some new bits. So Willow e-file bits, obviously, like I said, gold, silver and purple. The gold and silver are slightly cheaper because they don't have the coating that the purple ones do, so they don't last quite as long. So the gold and silver, this bit here, the Bluebell, is £20.40p. Or you can get it in a set of 5 bits, so 4 of the bits for £74.40. I usually buy the packets like with all of them in because I use all of them anyway, so it's definitely worth the money. And then the purple set, it's £27.60 for one, just the Bluebell, or £86.40 for 5 bits, the same set as the other one but purple. And then you can get 5% off codes with some of Lucy's ambassadors. They do have 5% off code, so it's definitely checking out one of those before you make your purchase. So this one on the right is from Amazon. You can get them on eBay and stuff like that as well. I don't know how much it is individually because I came as a set, and I've looked and I can't find an individual price for it. So this one came in a set that was £25 and that had 7 bits in. So if you just think this is £20.40 on its own, or in a set of 5 for £74, and then this is in a set of 7 for £25 altogether. So obviously you can figure out the difference between that. So we're just going to basically put them both to the test. Obviously, if you'll see from all my videos, I use Willow Academy bits in literally every single acrylic video that I do. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove one nail with one of the e-file bits. So I'm not removing them completely, I'm just going to be doing what I've done to this one. So filing it right down so we can see how it takes off length. And then I'm also going to be filing down to a really thin layer as well, ready to soak off, because I am fully removing these nails for the first time in forever. So yeah, I'm going to do these two on camera, and then I'll just do this another point. So one of them is going to be the Willow one of them is going to be the cheaper kind, and you'll see the difference. I'm going to leave it in real time so you can see exactly how long each nail takes, and obviously I'm going to do it in the exact same way for both nails, and then we'll see how we get on. So I am going to not going to speed it up or anything, but I am going to mute it and then obviously voice over it, because if I kept it on, like how it is and stuff, and not muted, you'd be able to hear my dust extractor and my e-file, and you wouldn't really be able to hear me talking, so I will voice over it. But yeah, let's get straight into it and see how they both differ. So first up is the Willow Academy Bit. This is the one that is called the Bluebell Bit. So I'm just going over it. So this nail has obviously clear on top, which is my capping layer. The clear is the thickest layer over the free edge where the glitter is, because that is the bit that was obviously protecting my blend and also protecting the glitter. So I'm just filing down that layer, and then obviously the glitter is underneath, and then so is the nude acrylic. And then once I've filed down to a relatively thin layer, I am just using my e-file bit then to take off the length. So this e-file bit is definitely one of my favourites. This and the green smoothie are absolutely incredible. So if you do a lot of rebalancing, like redesigns and removals of acrylic or even gels, then this is absolutely brilliant, and it's just brilliant. I can't really recommend it enough. So here I'm obviously just taking off, like I said, that clear layer on the top. There's not a lot of clear on the bottom third of my nail because it is a core powder anyway for the ombre. So the bottom third is mainly just the nude, with a little bit of clear underneath, and then the rest of it does have the clear on top to protect the blend. I'm just filing down again, making sure to get as much as the length off without damaging my nail or the hypernicum underneath. And then obviously I'll just go around the cuticle area very, very gently. I have already caught myself a few days ago on this nail, so if you can see any redness there, it's actually from a previous well, it's from me previously damaging it, not damaging it today. So this bit is really, really a beautiful shape as well. Obviously this goes to the other bit as well that I'm going to be testing out in this video, because they are the same shape. I absolutely love this type of bit because that bit that is slimmer at the top really helps that cuticle area. And then obviously the larger area I use for just debulking basically. So this one went really, really well. I was really, really happy with it. And it took overall just a couple of minutes. Okay, so that middle nail with that e-file bit from Willow Academy took 2 minutes and 12 seconds roughly. I've just looked back at that clip and that's what I've worked out as, so if that's wrong then I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure it's 2 minutes and 12 seconds. And we are literally down to the thinnest clear layer. That will literally take probably 2 minutes maximum to soak off in cotton. Obviously if I was just going to apply like more product, I could pop a form under this and actually just form with that now with how thin it is, because it is super, super thin. So I've managed to get it right down, which is fantastic, in 2 minutes and 12 seconds. So if you just think how quick that would be for all 10 nails. Usually when I'm doing a client, I can usually do a full, like take everything down, because obviously I've done the length here. If I didn't do the length, I can usually do a full 10, like a rebalance is obviously different. You're going to need to get rid of some, so I can just get rid of all that in about 15 minutes, which is really not that bad, and much quicker than a soak off would be if you didn't do this. If I just took the top coat off this and tried to soak it, it would take forever. So it's definitely worth being e-file trained. I do just want to say that I am not by any means teaching you how to use an e-file in this video. That is not what my channel is about, and that will never be on here. I don't believe that you should do like your e-file training through YouTube videos. I don't want that to sound bitchy or anything, but it's definitely not worth it. You need proper full-on training, which I will eventually be offering, but it definitely will not be on my YouTube channel for anyone to watch. E-files can cause a hell of a lot of pain and discomfort and damage and all that fun stuff. So I'm using both bits on the same RPM, and then let's get straight into this one and see how long this one takes with this. So next up, I am obviously using the cheaper version of this bit. I'm just doing exactly what I did with the other one and making sure that this free edge area is a bit slimmer, just so I can take down the bulk of the length, because there is no point like really getting rid of absolutely everything on that free edge and then taking it off. It's a waste of time. If I wasn't doing this, to be honest, I would have cut it down with some actual nippers. or clippers or whatever you use to reduce your length. I only really use an e-file to reduce length when it's on a client, and if they're having a little bit taken off, like if they just want the growth taken off, like how much they've grown out after an infill, then I will just use my e-file. But if I'm taking a drastic amount off like this set would have, I will remove with clippers, just because it's much easier, just not close to the actual free edge itself of my natural nail, because then you run the risk of basically damaging your nails and stuff like that if it clips off at the wrong angle. So I'm just showing that both bits are good enough at removing length. Basically, I just wanted to include that so you can see that both do that quite well. And then obviously I'm just doing the exact same thing with this bit as I did the last one, and just removing that bulk. And then after I finish doing this, I will talk about them both in more detail, what the main differences that I noticed are, and whether or not I do think it's worth investing in your e-file bits. I think obviously, you know, just if you watch my other videos, that I do think that, just because I do use Willow Academy bits in pretty much every video that I do. If it includes my e-file, it's a Willow Academy bit basically. The only thing that I would possibly buy cheaper is a mandrel, just because it just goes under a sanding band, so I'm not really fussy about that, and they all do the same job. So I'll let you just watch the end of this. There's only a few seconds left. I think this took about 30 seconds longer, which is not a major amount, but if you add that up over 10 nails, it does add up to quite a lot longer, but we'll talk about that in the next clip. Okay, so I now finished both of them. This one is also as thin, you can't really see it, it's not going to focus, but it's as thin as that one. I'm quite happy with that. Let me just grab my background so we've not got white, because my phone just doesn't like white for some reason. So my main thoughts are, so I think it was about 2 minutes 40 seconds to do this one, but obviously they were slightly different. This one did have glitter in and stuff like that, so that could have affected that. But I just want to point out the main differences that I found between the two. So this one, I found my cuticle area a more long-winded task, but simply just because it is bigger. This one at the very top, the teeth are much smaller, so it's a much more safe. It's obviously not safe if you're not trained and you go too close to the skin and stuff. If you touch the skin, it's gonna be an issue. But these teeth up here are not actually much smaller than the ones down here. I don't know if you can really see, but they stick out a lot more, and it's a lot more rigid at the top, whereas this one has a smooth point. So I did find it a little bit nerve-wracking and had to just take my time a little bit more at the cuticle area to make sure that I didn't cause any damage. I did nick myself a little bit, but obviously that's not the bit's fault, that is my own. I am always way too hard on my own nails. Secondly, heat. Definitely felt more heat with this one, which leads into my third point, which was more dust generated from this one as well. So this is the Willow one, by the way, in case I didn't mention that. So this one, instead of like where Willow you'd go over the same area once or twice, this one, to do the same amount of removal of that, you'd have to do 3 or 4 times, which means that you're generating twice as much dust because you're constantly going over the same area, which then creates more heat. Obviously the heat is something that can be sort of avoided. You don't go over the same area multiple times at the same time anyway, and I didn't, but you do, I feel I have to put a little bit more pressure on with this one, because the teeth are not quite as, not sharp, because to touch this one and that one is absolutely fine. This one actually feels a little bit more rough, and if you have a closer look, the teeth actually look a little bit larger. But the one on the left, I just found that I needed a little bit more pressure, because even though those teeth are actually bigger, it doesn't work much better than this one, considering they are bigger. So it's lots of things to think about. I would definitely 100% recommend investing in your e-file bits. The second thing with this one is I haven't obviously tested it because I don't use the cheaper ones. I just have them just in case as a backup. You never know what will happen. But these definitely don't last as long as these ones. I did used to use the cheaper ones before I stumbled across Willow Academy and decided to invest in my business further and actually get good quality products. I did use the cheaper ones and they don't last half as long as these ones. This bit here, this bluebell bit is actually, I bought this I think around May time. It was during the last lockdown, well the first lockdown. So this is actually like May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, I don't know, like 8 months old. Like fair enough, I've not been working the whole way through that, but even in lockdowns I've been using them because obviously I do my nails quite often for my channel, so it has had use out of it. And when I have been open I am always manic busy, which obviously means that I'm using them a lot more as well. So it's had a lot of use, and it still, as you can see from it removing, this nail works perfectly. Probably not to full potential obviously because it is quite old now and I am due to get a new set of bits, but it still works perfectly. And I know for a fact that this one would absolutely not be working that well if I'd used it as much as I'd used this one, because it already needs a little bit extra pressure just to get the excess. So I hope this video is useful. I hope it makes you think about how much you invest into your business. Like, there is so much money that goes into training for this job. Obviously not everyone will understand it, because I think you really do have to have some sort of passion for this job to be able to really understand and get to grips with what it entails. A lot of people obviously just like painting their nails, and no disrespect, will just wake up one morning and think I want to be a nail technician, and it's soon one of those things that you realise it costs a lot of money, it takes up a lot of time. Like, it's one of those things that is not just as easy to jump into as maybe just applying for a normal day-to-day job and then going to start it, learning how to do it and carrying on. It's not really that type of thing. So it's definitely worth investing. If you're going to invest hundreds or even thousands, like depending on how much training you do. I've spent thousands by now, and products and everything like that. If you're going to spend time doing the decent training and you want to do a decent job of your career, you definitely want to get decent products. It's definitely worth investing. They last so much longer, they do a much better job, and they make your overall time much easier to spend on other things. Like if you do your e-filing quicker, it means that you have more time for your perfect application, or stuff like that. So it's definitely worth looking into. I would definitely recommend to invest in your e-file bits and make sure that you get some real good quality ones. Obviously not everyone is in a position to be able to do that, so I'm not saying that you can't do a good job without these good quality things. I'm just saying that if you can, it is definitely worth it. Like I said, I didn't always use these. I only bought these for the first time back in May, so all the time that I used e-files before that I was using these cheaper bits, and I'd like to think that my work was up to standard. But now I can see a massive difference since I've been using these ones in not only my work altogether, but also my timings as well, which is perfect, because obviously who doesn't want to make more money and have more people in per day because they're doing a faster service. So yeah, I hope that made sense, and you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please let me know, because I will do more like this. This is the first sort of video I've done like this, so I'm not sure whether it's going to be welcome on my channel or not, or whether you just like me to stick to the light-hearted fun stuff. But yeah, let me know. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. If you don't already, then do subscribe if you could please. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for watching again, and I'll be back soon. Bye.